All right, you're asking for it, so here it is. Listen to this.
I want you folks laughing at we partners pod, kid. You understand? We in here drinking, singing, swinging, all that shit, dog. You sweating, getting wet, all that.
All right. Welcome to what we believe, and please fact check us, would be the 257th published episode of the Drinking Partners podcast. As a throwback, yes, the Tom Jackson episode. I probably used it for 57 before. Long-time commentator, you know what I'm saying, on the NFL. We long-time commentators on the city of Pittsburgh. Matter of fact, we make it a, we doing the TV thing too, you know what I'm saying? As always, even after the layoff, right? I'm half of your hosting tandem, Ed Bailey. I'm joined as always with my co-host, Dave Bracey. Say what up to the people.
What's good with you people? We are the Drinking Partners, and if you're looking for us, you can find us on iTunes, Stitcher, Libsyn, Google Play, and Spotify.
We Googleable.
Drinking
We Googleable.
Partners.
I ain't forgot.
You can find us on IG, Facebook, and Twitter at Partners Pod. Man, listen, about 9-ish years now.
Yeah.
We've been asking y'all, and we will continue to ask you, man. Please hop on iTunes, hop on Facebook, rate and review. That's how we know we're doing well. That's how we let others know that we're doing well. And that's how we continue to do well. So please hop on iTunes, hop on Facebook, rate and review.
You love us.
I am obviously not doing this right. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
No, we
Like
got
this-
you. You ain't even here yet. This is the formula. This is the
I'm
only
a
thing we got
podcaster
planned.
too. I ain't doing it like that.
This the
God
only thing we
damn.
got planned. Listen, you love
That's
us.
the
You see
thing.
us out in the streets. You show us. You tell us you love us. You show us you love us. All right. And honestly, we love you too. But things have changed because now it has now made it into the podcast episode description. If you see us out in public, all right, in lieu of rates and reviews, we do accept shots of Hennessy.
Yes, we
I
do.
still do. And we've upgraded to Glenlivet. All right. I've upgraded
some
my
scotch.
life. Some of that. All right. And you always, and what we've done now to make it easy for you, you can always see us, right? Because we leveled up a little bit since we were doing this last installation. You know what I'm saying?
The faces be out
We
there.
got season 2 of Ed and Day in the Bird dropping
Yes,
on
sir.
the very
Yes,
local
sir.
app, available on Amazon, Roku, anything where you steal television, you can steal our faces, all right?
Pirate us, please.
Pirate us, please. We are technically, this is the Pirate Booty Podcast.
God damn.
Season 2.
We bootable.
God
Rebootable.
damn.
Season 2, March 16th. We are going to have a season premiere party at the Bank on, I always want to say the Bank on 5th, the Bank on 8th. All right, it's extra and it's all types of activities, but
Yeah,
more importantly,
man.
that day, March 16th, you'll see Ed and Day, premiering Ed and Day in the Berg. And, it's also becoming an annual thing in August. Second Saturday, we let go.
We got Barrel and Flow coming through. You know what I mean?
Let it flow,
We out here
let it
6 years in the
flow.
game. We coming back down the south side. No, wait. Never again to the south side. We coming back down to the Strip District.
That's a ficket.
Rewind.
Shout out to Oxford. Shout out to the Stacks at Three Crossings, man. We got about 4,000 people coming down there. 75 breweries, about 30 food vendors, 30 goods and service vendors. We got 4 art stages, a DJ stage, a live music stage, 3 days of activities. We have the conferencing, the bottle share, the festival, and we have the Brewers Brunch. So, check out tickets online at barrelandflow.com, man. And if you're an artist, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a brewer, if you're just curious how you can get into this alcohol industry, how you can, find mutually beneficial relationships through the alcohol industry, how do we promote your brand? All right, you black, you got a business. How do we promote your brand through this alcohol industry? Hit us up, find out, man. Barrelandflow.com. I mean, we can, that's what we doing here with the festival is paying black people. And if you're out there and you need money, hit us up.
There we go. All the vibes, man. You already know, man. This a vibe. It's going to continue to be a
Yes,
vibe.
sir. Yes,
and
sir.
as we jump back and doing the podcasting thing, it's only right, that our guests, in our return, we got the return. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We get to bring a special guest with us today. All right, we got artist, CEO and founder of 1028 Studios, creative director for Barrel and Flow. We got Corey Ochai in the building. Say what up to the people.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. How y'all doing, man? I didn't know how long that was going to go on for, man. I didn't know.
I think we cut it down a little bit.
Seriously?
We used to have a lot, because then we were doing the live shows, and we would have like 2 monthly live shows that we would have to promote, and then they would have separate lineups, separate breweries would be sponsored. We did a podcast before we actually got to the podcast.
I ain't mad at that, man. That sound. I'm hyped. I'm ready to rock and roll with this, man. Y'all doing some things out here, obviously.
Well, if you hyped, then I feel like the listeners is hyped. You got Mr. Swagtastic in the building.
Yes,
he came with the multi camos. Let me tell you,
I'm about to get that T-shirt, my guy.
To pull off several camos, and these ain't even camoable. You know what I'm saying?
For any environment.
Well, he got the camo denim. You know what I'm saying? With the camo, the
so I mean, the thing
hat.
is that like if you look at it from the top down, if you're a bird, it's going to blend in with the cityscape. You see what I'm saying?
I ain't gonna have him shitting on me.
He's a walking game of Roblox.
But if you're a bear, you're going to blend in with the treescape. You see what I'm saying? He's top to bottom, a man. You ain't catching him. You know.
I'm here, but I'm not here. You know what I'm saying? Nah, but it's the thing, man. It's the thing. Hey, man, I'm ready for war. That's where I'll be out here.
I'll be always jealous of artists, right? Visual artists, because they can express that in their clothing, right? So, when you putting together paintings or whatever your discipline is as far as the visual art, that's one thing. But it also bleeds into who you are. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? We were just talking about like DS, artsy fartsy, you know what I'm saying? Like he's got a specific style that he wears, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like you just can't, It's just like it bleeds cool.
When it comes down to the get down, I dress weird. Right, but my excuse is I'm an artist. So literally, that's what it is. You know what I mean? That's my excuse. So most cats, they can't wear this.
So I can be. I'm square. But I'm a banker.
That's it. That's it. So it's really a disguise. It's really just I'm only an artist, so I can dress like this. That's really it. That's what it comes down to. It's kind of weird, but it works.
That's Fashion Week, man. You know what I mean? Like if you wear it like, hey, yo, man, if you walk out with confidence, like half the motherfuckers will be like, yeah,
that's it.
Yeah.
Did you see the new dresses they had where the dress was off of the dress and the actual dress she was wearing was just like a nude skin thing, and then the dress was like
on the side.
Yeah, it was just like they be getting nuts with it.
Man, see, that's that meta, like that concept type shit or whatever. Like, do we even like need clothes?
I don't know.
I'm
a creative. I'm a creative, and I like funky stuff. But some of the stuff on that runway, I be like, I don't know. They like for what? Why? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I'm supposed to get it. I just don't get it.
So let me ask you this then: How do you draw the line, right? Because as an artist, I would imagine you almost have the responsibility to be accepting of all whatever the fuck somebody sees or whatever, and find value or understanding in that. Where do you draw the line? Where it's like, you know what? I don't even get that.
I mean, when it comes down to it, my opinion is not even valid to what they're doing. You know what I mean? Because I only draw the line for what I do. You know what I'm saying? So when somebody else does, if that's their creative expression, I let them live in that. But I got, I can like it or I can't like it. That's my thing. I can do that. Anybody else can do that. But, if that's them being creative, kudos to them. But that's just ain't my cup of tea. That's how I be looking at it.
Yeah, see, I don't feel the same way, man. Because Tyler Perry, your movies suck, and I wish you would stop making movies, Tyler Perry.
That is the advantage of being a civilian. We have very hard definitions of what we feel.
I see your art, and I judge it to be terrible.
I don't give a damn about what you trying to say. What I saw.
God damn.
Stop doing that shit. Hire some writers, nigga.
God damn.
But then we get put in that weird position because then he opened like a studio where only black movies are produced.
See, that's the duality of humans, right? Like you could be doing some cool shit and also be doing some terrible ass movies. Nigga, that shit is terrible.
Hey man, y'all been seeing that Tubi shit? That shit on Tubi?
I don't want Tubi look. Yeah,
it's horrible. It's horrible. It's just flat out horrible, man. They I don't know. I just been seeing little clips where they have people doing these. I don't know, these beyond low budget movies, which are absolutely so bad that they're good. They're like hilarious.
Oh yeah, nah, man. If you can really like spin the like, you know what I mean, like if you do like kind of camp You know what I mean? Like where you spin the low budgetness of it and you actually like lean into it.
Yeah.
That's a form of good storytelling.
Well,
you know
let
what I
me
mean?
throw some duality in this. Because while I
double down on weakness.
well, two negatives by definition equal to positive in multiplication.
Yeah, I mean.
Now, here's what I will say to add the duality here. Danielle Dominique, I graduated with her from Shaw High School, class of 04. All right, Controlled on Tubi, not one of the low budget where you hear the gunshot and then 5 seconds later they start squeezing
That's
the
that shit I'm
ketchup
talking
back.
about. That's that shit I'm talking about.
I think she went minimal on the effects because of the budget, but the storyline, the movie, fantastic. So shout out to Danielle Dominique. So
shout out to Danielle, man, for out there making those movies like that.
But I think what you could speak to, what sort of opportunities did you find as an artist to where, hey, my budget ain't crazy, but I got to get the work out there, and I got to have. And the thing about not having a crazy budget is there are certain things where if I can't afford it, I can't even look at this type of production. So what Tubi does is you can produce a movie without a movie budget. As an artist, where do you find difficulty, or how do you find that entry point where it's like, I ain't got the budget, but I got this thing where...
I love that. So that's where your creativity really shines at. You know what I mean? I feel like there was a masterclass I watched with an interior decorator that talked about she loves working with a budget, when you're working with a lot of people that don't have a budget. Right. So when there's no parameters, you don't know where to go because you can go anywhere. You can get crazy. You know what I mean? But when you got these parameters, you have to work in this, and to go outside the lines means you got to create something. That's where we shine at. So sometimes by not having it gives you everything you need, man. It's wild. That's wild. That's wild.
That's a truth. When he said it, he linked. Y'all can't see it because we got a video camera.
I'm gonna start talking like this.
Motherfucker leaked after he said it. Like, ooh, sometimes by not having it, you got all you need.
Bars.
Yeah. I said that to a shorty when she came over and the electricity was off. Sometimes by not having it,
sometimes you got to fall to rise.
That's some bullshit.
But
goddamn.
Yeah, nah, man. Like this is shout out to first like. So we got this Black Pack on the table. You know what I mean? It is still February. Shout out to Black History Month. Shout out to all the fellow Negroes out there doing it. We got this Black Pack, this Black History pack from Bitter Pops, featuring 4 Black-owned breweries. Black Horizon Brewing out of Chicago, 18th Street Brewing out of Hammond, Indiana, Moore's Brewing out of Chicago, and then we have Jay Westbrook, who's a black brewer out of Chicago, and Sam Ross Brewing out of Goose Island down there in Chicago as well. So it's yeah, man. They
really getting down, man.
It's a Black History moment, man. I've never walked into a store and seen a 6-pack of beer from multiple Black-owned breweries in my life. It might be the first in the country.
It was the next step.
Yeah,
it was the next step.
Yeah.
You also never saw a festival where they all came together, and then all of a sudden.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so all it takes, and I think that goes right to what we were saying, all it takes is the resourcefulness, the creativity, make something happen, and then other things spring off of that. And then it don't have to always be you either.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean, it don't always have to be you that take step 2. Maybe step 1, that's what you was created for, step 1, and you can just continue to expound on step 1, but somebody else take that next step, and then the industry grows.
And you've done some work, growing the industry and whatnot, curating TT Studios and whatnot, and finding work for artists outside of yourself or whatever. Like, speak to a bit of your background in this industry, and then how you've platformed others.
Well, you know what? When it came to me, man, I just started my artist journey, really, when I could say that, like my professional art journey. I had no training. I really just I was that kid in class that was just doodling when the teacher was talking, you know what I mean? And I really didn't start creating professionally until about 2.5 years ago. I was working as security guard, and probably one of the best jobs I ever had. I can get into that story, but I ended up quitting my job. I know it's weird. I said security job, best job I ever had, but I ended up quitting my job.
Security, I've done that. It's when you're not really trying to secure shit, you just seeing shit.
Well,
I used to work like concert security, and that shit was dumb.
I called it. I said I got paid to be at the library because I used that time really to study, to learn to learn business, to learn to sit down and read, to entrepreneurship. entrepreneurship, I mean, that was like I got a chance to get paid to study. That's what I looked at it as. So I used it as
you was old boy off of how about them apples? You know what
Absolutely.
I mean? Like apples.
Hey, you know what? No, I can't let y'all shit on me like that. I can't let y'all. All right, let's go to the whole story, right?
Use company time to draft.
Let's go to the whole notice. So now
they found him in there on the chalkboard, solving equations and shit. Like,
hey, I ain't gonna let y'all do that to me on there. So let's go to the whole story. So the pandemic hit, right? And I was like, you know what? I was working security. They ended up switching me to a different place called I can't even name the place, but it was a business that was on the S&P 500. You know, I was there doing security. It was at the headquarters of this place, and nobody else was there except for the execs. You know what I mean? So I had the CEO there, the CFO there, and just me. We came with the building. So these guys would come in every morning. I had to take the temperature. And what I did was I used that as an opportunity to ask these guys questions. So I got a chance to talk with these millionaires and people that are on the S&P 500, billion-dollar companies. So every morning I would sit down and write a question. Write a question and ask the CEO one. I was reading the Wall Street Journal too, so I was asked the CFO one. And I would ask a lot of the head lawyers and stuff like that. So asked them what books they would read and asked them, how did they navigate this and navigate that, use that information to invest, start building up my Roth IRA, all that stuff like that. And then I gathered so much knowledge. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go out on my own and do my own business. But I didn't know what my product was. So when it came down to it, I was like, okay, I got all this knowledge of how to market, how to advertise, all that good stuff, but I don't know what my product is. So I thought about it just something simple. Let me start with a T-shirt, start designing for one. I tried to go to these tattoo shops, have them design. They didn't want to design for me. I was like, forget it, I'm gonna design it myself. Start drawing, start creating, and it took me back to when I was a kid, and that kid in high school, doodling stuff like that, ended up falling in love with it. Kept going. I did a show right across the street at this cafe, and all my pieces sold. So I was like, you know what? I'm done with this job. I'm hopping off the porch. Hopping off,
you can from it.
Hopped off the porch. And at that show was when I met the investor for TT Studios. It was like 3 months after I quit, like maybe a few weeks after I quit my job, and he told me what he wanted to do over there. He said, I might be the right person for the job. Next thing you know, I had a whole studio to build and, trying to provide value to artists. So I didn't know what I was doing, but I knew what I didn't have coming into the game. So I knew that was the type of stuff that we had to promote or type of information that we had to get for other artists that were in my position. So that's what we did. You know what I mean? So I found out like the trials and tribulations I had coming into the art game was the same trials and tribulations a lot of people in my position had as well. So I had to find a way to them not to have them trials and tribulations. And we found a solution, and next you know, booming. Yeah, it was different.
Yo, shout out. So from that, I know our listeners are going to pick up just your drive, your focus, right? I mean, to actually utilize the time and resources that you had available to you and kind of be creative with that. Yeah. But what's not to be overlooked either is, those CEOs, those C-suite execs, those individuals, attorneys and whatnot, who actually answered your questions. Welcomed, your questions and your inquisitiveness. You know what I mean? Right. Because you ain't gonna grow without some sort of knowledge. Like, you got some people who've done it, and they got to be able to give back. And it don't take much. It don't take no money. It doesn't take a lot of time to just answer questions. You don't know what this person, what I'm saying, who's asking you a question. You don't know what they're gonna be. You don't know where it's gonna go.
Absolutely.
But it ain't gonna go nowhere if you don't, give back.
What did Jay say? Closed mouth don't get fed.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So there was the pandemic, so a lot of us weren't having those conversations. So any conversation you had, people took more value in that. So me recognizing that, knowing that we social creatures in general, you know what I mean? And I'm the only person they seeing as well. They ain't the only person. I'm not, I'm not the only person they seeing. They the only person. Yeah. So I seen the opportunity there, and I see them every morning. And why not talk about the thing you do? You ain't talking to nobody else about it. And they were cool enough people to give me that information, and next you know, we developed a relationship, man. I still talk to
a little
him.
G on him too.
Yeah.
Make it about
I'm
them.
talking that shit.
How you get this, bro? How you figure that out?
Oh, that's how we
man?
talk. That's how we was talking.
Yeah.
You know, they would come down lunchtime. They would come down chill with me, man. They wasn't, you know. I sat in on meetings where they were making multi-million-dollar deals, like moving equity and stuff like that. I sat in meetings with they were talking to Elon Musk during the million battery event where he was on the stage and they were in the cars honking the horn and stuff. They went to that and everything because they work with them cats. It's crazy.
So as an artist and producer, I mean, because again, you're still platforming folks. I don't know if anybody knows, but this is 1028 Studios.
Right. Yeah, man.
I mean, that we're recording in here, and
absolutely.
It's why I keep looking around and I'm trying to find your art because it's hard because you're out here platforming others even in your studio. You know
Absolutely,
what I mean?
absolutely,
so.
man.
What as an artist / producer, what are the things that you find that say, some artists don't fully understand about the road to success or whatever, right? You know what I mean? What are some of the, skill sets or even, resources that, maybe artists don't know how to, take advantage of in order to maintain this as a sustainable, living.
Right. So to live off your love, you gotta live off what you love. That's the goal, right? So what do I see in a lot of people that maybe they need a little help with and need a little better understanding of? Is collaboration is key with this, and understanding that. I would say collaboration. Let me take that back. You just got to believe in yourself, man. You got to know that you're an artist. And artists don't need to look like this person over here or that person over there. What you got is enough. You just got to believe in that and be able to go out there and show it. Go out there and have some confidence in yourself. And if you don't have the confidence, try to develop it. Just go out there and show your work, man. Most people are scared to. I ain't gonna say most people. Most people are afraid to put themselves out there, man. And it really is not as hard as you think. When I said I had a show over there at the cafe, all I had to do was open my mouth, man. Open my mouth, put my work up there, and every opportunity is an opportunity, good or bad, and you never know what can come from it. So find those opportunities and go for it. Don't care if you don't try to be Picasso. Don't try to. You can't be a better Picasso than Picasso could be a Picasso. You know what I'm saying? There's a ceiling to that. You got to be who you are and put that out there and be okay with what you got and put that out there. You may not be the best right now, but you keep doing that, you'll start to develop the confidence. You'll start to develop the awareness. You'll start to understand what is needed, and hopefully you take that information and just go with it, man. I don't know. It's a lot, but it's not. Just got to go and do it. It's simple, but it's tough. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I mean that's usually what gets a lot of folks caught up is like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do it after this, or I'm gonna get it. You know what I mean? And that's life in general, procrastination or waiting for a perfect time or whatever. And there's never really a perfect time. Right? You know what I mean?
I say anything after but is bullshit. You know what I mean? That's real.
I mean, there's
dropping bars. Anything after but is bullshit.
Literally. Anything after but is bullshit. You go and do it, but anything after but is bullshit. You follow that, you'll be straight.
So you're working at security, you've acquired all this knowledge, you want to jump in the game, but at that point, how do you define success? Is it just, hey, I just want to get away from this, I'm just trying to do whatever I can do to live off what I love?
Yeah. Or
is it like I have that end goal in mind already?
Man, to say I have an end goal in mind, I just want to take this thing. I don't want to take it to the sky. I want to take it to Jupiter, right? So, like, I just my what I want continues to grow.
Okay.
But I know what I don't want. That's where I'm at. So once I got a taste, I think we were talking about this before the podcast hit. Once I got a taste of this working for myself, because once I left that job, I told myself I'd never work for anybody else again. I work with people, but not for people. But once I got to taste this entrepreneurial journey, and I realized like the freedom that comes with it, it'd be tough for me to go back, and that's my goal, is not to go backwards. Okay. Yeah, so that's the only thing. So as long as I keep pushing forward, as long as I ain't in the same spot tomorrow, I'm good. and I just use it. I use it like that. I keep my goals kind of simple, but I think I am slacking not having that. I know the finish line's an illusion, but having that whatever to grab for.
But can you even have that in this field? Like the end goal or whatever. Like you can have benchmarks. So for example, in comedy, I can say I want to perform or have a Netflix special, right? But then you don't get that Netflix special and then that's it. Like that's a one-time payout.
And then the story.
I was the man now.
You know what I'm saying? So
I was the man back in high school. You know what
right.
I'm saying? That's
so
that
like
feeling.
with visual art, like what would be those benchmarks? Is it just having an installation at, August Wilson or something like that? Like what are those sort of things where you like I measure where I've been going in my progression?
Yeah, that is. Yeah,
that's kind of crazy.
Like that.
I don't really look at that. I think most people do. Wanting to be in the gallery, wanting to be this, wanting to be in that, but not having an art background, not even really knowing what the art community really is, and just kind of doing art and seeing where that takes me. My thing is, man, I just want to show my work. I want to show my work. My goal is really to have conversations about my work, because I feel like the best art in the world creates conversation. Okay. And the more conversations I create, the more opportunities I have to make the connection between the artwork and the person looking at it, and the higher the probability of the sale is. So I just look at it more so as I want more people to see it, and the more people to see it, the more opportunities I got for people to purchase it and everything else. So whatever way that happens, doesn't have to be in a museum. Actually, I knew that you have to be in this for years to get into like a gallery or something like that. I'm not waiting. So I'm going to them. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? That's just real. I'm not going to wait for...
Y'all got a number, right?
Yeah, I'm not waiting for...
Can I speak to the manager?
Yeah.
I see y'all got walls.
Actually, that's what it is.
I got art.
Yeah, that's what it is.
You know
that's what I did. That's what I did.
No, I feel you. That's how you get it out the mud. People don't understand that. Like sometimes it really be literally knocking on the door and being like, so
what you doing?
What you doing over here? Like,
what you doing over here? Hey, but that was real. That was real. I was, you know what? When I was sitting at that security desk, and I was looking. There's a wall that was blank, and I was thinking about this thing called art real estate. I was like, hold up, all these companies got walls and they ain't using them, right? So what if I go in there like I did over at the cafe? I go in there, I said, y'all ain't even using that wall. Let me make this house a home. Right. I'll put some art up on there, and if something sells, I'll give you a percentage. Like, so you ain't losing nothing because that wall ain't got nothing on it.
Collaboration.
Yeah, shut up. I was like, everything after butt's bullshit. You know what I'm saying?
But here's the thing. We're a financial institution. So how would you describe your art? Like, how would you, if you could describe it? Like, how would you describe it? And then how do you find where that art, I guess, is applicable, so to speak, or where it's appropriate for that style? Yeah,
you got to read the room sometimes. Sometimes it's not, like I can't go to a restaurant where no one looks like me, you know what I'm saying? And they're sipping on tea from Britain and stuff like that, and put up the work that I kind of that I like, right? That I do. It's kind of tough to. I don't know. If I describe my art, I describe my art as an extension of myself. So if you like what you're hearing, you're going to like what you're seeing, hopefully, because that's going to be represented in there. But how do I know where to place it at? I wish I could say I know. I just got to find out. It's something you discover when you're on the journey. I feel like you take it to places. Some places you don't think your art would look nice at. That's kind of what they want. They want something that's going to switch up the vibe. They don't always want what the vibe is, because they're looking for something new too. They're trying to evolve as well, and sometimes you don't know what you want until you see it. So it's one of those things where just shoot the shot. Shoot the shot.
But see, that's what it feels like as a consumer, right? So art consumers, it feels like you're either like an enthusiast or you just a person who looking for some art. Like you don't know what the hell you want. You know what I'm saying? Like either you like in it and you looking for something specific, or you just like, look, man, I got some space on my wall. I need a 12 by 14. What 12 with a certain color scheme or whatever. So like talking to a consumer. Is there, like, if you walk in, right, and you walk into a spot and you're like, yo, I got a piece that would be dope here. How you flip that to somebody like, yo, you just say I got a piece that might be dope here?
I mean, yeah, I might start
Man, that
there.
shit
I might start there just to get the conversation going, and then it'll let me know where I need to navigate from there probably sometimes. So I'm like, what type of work do you do? That's all I need. You let me know this is what I got right here. But even if maybe I don't have what you like, but I have a friend that does that type of work that you're explaining to me. So what I can do is I can get my friend that spot right there, and I might even take a commission if that thing sells. Or they just developed a relationship, and my guy's good. He's a fellow artist. That's my guy. I want to see him win too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This billionaire Bruce Wayne over here is dope as shit. And this whole like wall is wild as hell. This like futuristic like mecha Pikachu and like
Pikachu had a 6-pack.
Yeah, right. right.
It's my guy, man. Malcolm Xavier. Shout out to him, man.
Yeah, like so. What is this like that we're looking at? Like, what's the medium like? Because it looks like it's glossy.
Yeah. So this is Malcolm Xavier. He's a big fan of Basquiat. Jean-Michel Basquiat was the first black artist that was actually well known. One of the top American selling artists. He passed away in the 80s, but also I think Jay-Z's a big fan. But that's the type of work he does. So me and him do a show just kind of like you guys called This Is Art, and that's what's on my Instagram. And we talk about this whole journey right here. We talk about our process and how we move and groove. And he's actually going to be doing a show here at my space at the 1028 podcast on the 28th. This is called Project 28. So he did one piece for every day of the month of February, and each one has its own story. So
it's varied as well. Like I mean, I like the range on it and whatnot. And I mean, definitely an anime fan. I mean, like
absolutely.
Like and that gloss like makes it like pop, and it's just like this like mixed medium. You know what I mean? Like with I don't even know what I'm looking at. I don't know if this is like print or like what the I mean some of this is like they look like crayons and whatnot. Like it's just like crazy.
Well, that's the beauty of it, man. That's the beauty of it.
Images out of
nothing.
Yeah, right.
Like it's the same. But no, look. This is the same thing y'all do with beer. So we artists, but we all creatives, right? So even with beer, right, you just taking something from in your mind and then you making it a concrete thing. And sometimes it's not going to come out the same way. You just got to keep tweaking it. You got to keep doing this and doing that until you got the product you want. And next thing you know, you got the black pack that's sitting right in front of us. You know what I'm saying?
So with beer though, there's a process, and maybe you may divert a little bit or whatever to get whatever you want from it. Now, with something like this, so when you're looking at these specifics, and Buzzy, if you can get some visual so we can put out so people know what the hell we talking about. Or show up to 28th.
Yeah. Knock on the door and be like, what y'all doing over here?
But like, is this a specific style of art where he's adapted, or is this like his own? Yeah, I mean, like,
well, this is a process, just like the beer, right? So he started off with those pieces over there, right? Those are called pours. So it's more of an abstract. That means if those that are listening don't know what abstract art is, it's something that doesn't look like anything, but you can make it look like everything in your mind, right? So it's just like shapes and colors and things that don't form a formative figure.
Rorschach test and shit like that.
Yeah, that's it. Like, that's real shit.
It's art that'll ask you, are you crazy?
That's it.
You know what I mean?
The goal is to make a mask, man.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, so and he started with that, and if you look at all these other pieces with the figures and everything like that, you'll see that that's behind it. So this is the growth.
Oh shit!
Yeah, this is the growth of that.
I didn't even see that until you just did that shit.
That's why they got to do shows, because they got to explain this shit.
Absolutely,
but that's wild. That's the base,
and that's it
for that. That's a whole nother motherfucking thing happening behind that.
Right, and then
so he ain't just like buy a bunch of like he like did that and then put things on.
And then the figures turn into these little things. So now he's making toys. You know what I'm saying? Now he's making collectibles. You know what I'm saying? So these things end up, it's all a process, and it starts somewhere, then it ends somewhere, but then the finish line is an illusion. So it just keeps growing and growing, man. And that's how it works. So I say it like this, man. I say everybody's an artist. Y'all artists. The way y'all create, whatever. The way you dress is aesthetic, right?
That's you. The way I dress is just natural.
Don't think you said that's you. That ain't me. Nah, but it's a thing though. It's a thing. So your friend's mom up the street and your mom can make the same meal using the same ingredients, but you go up there, you taste it, and it's just different, right? Because she makes it a certain way. She got an aesthetic. Everybody got an aesthetic. It's just are you willing to show what yours is, man?
Man, this shit is insane.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy.
I'm also slightly like high, so I mean it's like
Good.
real trippy.
We
like
hear it.
looking
This
at.
is even better.
We hear it.
Yeah.
We hear it. That's your aesthetic.
That's your aesthetic.
Looking at all this large shit, it's like
He tripping
shit.
over here.
My
Yeah,
man.
right. It's like trippy.
But
Like
when
it's
you-
like because it looked like a color pool, right? Like you're just like
Like they
swimming
don't-
in
yeah.
the art. you
That's
know
that's
I
what
mean?
the wall is. It's a vibe, man. It's a
Yeah,
vibe,
It's
bro.
funny though, because when he described that, when he said that, then the beer tours made sense to me. The brew tours made sense. I'm like, oh, this why motherfuckers be going there and listening to dudes
Yeah.
talk about the beer.
Yeah,
Like, oh, okay.
yeah. So
It just made sense to me.
yeah, that's the part right there, though. That's the thing that a lot of artists don't do. They'll just let somebody sit there and look at their work, but you make the connection. Like they know what they see, but what you actually anticipated for them to see, you might be able to connect the dots by talking to them. So you talk to somebody about, you see somebody looking at your art, talk to them, let them know.
So let me ask for you.
Yeah.
What was the first piece that you created where you were like, I can connect the dots, like
Connect the dots.
where I can present this to someone and tell that story, and now it's like, oh shit, they see
Yeah.
what I see.
So when I'm creating, there's this thing called art therapy I'm about to go into another little story, right? There's this thing called art therapy that I used to do where I couldn't find the words to explain how I feel, so I would draw them, and then the art therapist would use that drawing to help start the conversation. So when I'm creating any piece, anything I create authentically for myself. That's my boundaries that I run in. And I make sure that I create with purpose. I'm creating something that speaks. It's like something I'm capturing one of these, like you said, these bars and putting it on a piece of paper. So anything I create is going to have a meaning to it, or I might not put it out because anything I put out needs to have, like, I need to be able to talk about it. It needs to be something that makes my world make sense by looking at it, I guess. I don't know. That's how I put it.
But that's where you are now. But
Yeah.
what was that first piece that you did that made you think you was on that level? Because I'm sure you just doodling shit like, I make shit that look good. But now you're making meaningful shit.
Absolutely. Yeah. So the first piece I created was actually a piece with me and my wife. We used the picture from our wedding. So today is actually our anniversary, which is crazy.
Thank you for being here with us.
Right, man.
So you about to get yelled at.
Right?
You gonna make a piece.
No.
You gonna make a piece called Kicked Out the House.
I've been doing this.
I've been doing this sitting on the lawn.
Damn. You're absolutely right. No. I've been doing this for 12 years, man. For 12 years, I already took the wife out. We already experienced all that. We good. We handled it, and we here. No, I ain't gonna be here till like 7 or 8 o'clock. I'll be home by then.
Okay. 12 years in, you can be a part.
Yeah.
I'm 2 years in. I can't do no extra shit
man.
on our anniversary.
I'll say I do. After 12 years, they kind of just want you to get out of the house. That's how it works. You know what I mean?
Man, listen, peace is a present sometimes. You see what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
You
I'm
talking
still
that
in the,
shit.
You've been at the
You
gym
talking
too
that
long.
shit.
Phase. I had to come home and explain my whole workout. Well, first I did 3 sets flat bench press. Then I had to do my shoulders.
I got video. Who else seen that video? You posted that shit? Nobody else seen your pecs like that? Nah. But man. So that was actually one of the first pieces I did was a picture of me and her. And the reason I know that is because it popped up today on my Facebook.
Oh, word.
And that was so wild you asked that. And when people seen that, they wanted me to start doing that for them. And I didn't have the confidence. Also, like, no. You know what I'm saying? I just, because I
gotta have something for
Yeah.
it.
I gotta have something.
That's
Exactly.
exclusive to
I mean, that's me and my wife right there. But we still have that piece in my living room, and it's literally right next to the couch every day. So I look at it every day. And I did that, and I did some other pieces that actually sold. And it was cool. I was like, straight. That's how it
this is
worked.
why I'd be hating the visual artist, bro.
What was that first?
I'm the shit, my man. I appreciate
Nah, they be putting their shit and putting it in their relationship. A regular nigga like me can't do that. I don't have a joke that me and my wife said. Why did canoodle on?
Why did the chicken cross the road? Why did the chicken cross the road? What's your favorite joke, sweetie?
You just make a
What's your
necklace out of the
favorite
joke and
Yeah,
shit.
like I don't have
like,
that. No, my first
Shut
closer.
your dumb ass up.
My first closer, that's
right? Tatted on her arm, like, you know what I mean? Like a kid, No, I mean, but what was the first piece that you sold?
Ooh, man. So the first piece I sold was after I created that piece for me
And
and my wife.
How did that happen? Because, it's weird.
Like,
how,
were you selling it, or did you just sell it?
Yeah.
Well, I had this idea of doing going live and painting. When I was painting those things, I was painting in my kitchen, and I painted this piece, and people were responding. Actually, one of the people that responded was Brittany Reno. She's the mayor here. She's still mad at herself for not buying this piece, but a friend of mine ended up buying it. And then I sold that one. I sold another one. And I was like, all right, that's cool. I got something here. Another one. Another one. And I just said, I got something here. But I kind of stopped selling for a minute because I ended up doing a show. I did a show at the library, which was cool. And then there was another show coming in 2 weeks. And I was like trying to create for it. And that's the shit that fucked me up was I was trying to create something that people would like, instead of creating from something that was inside me. And it kind of took all of the joy away from it. So I kind of left it. And then when I got back to it was after I became a security guard during the pandemic, and that's when I kind of took it completely serious. But that was the first taste of it. That was maybe a year or two before that.
I think that is applicable across all art forms, right? So like even in comedy, you'll be doing jokes that are safe and shit that people you can do the topics that people laugh at it. You know what I'm saying? But then it's like when you really start to be like, all right, I want to tell the shit that is important to me. I want my perspective on things, my viewpoint, my vantage point. And that's where you could differentiate yourself and then start making a name. Like all of a sudden, when we go see an Ed Bailey show, like you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna see that style. We can have however many people open and whatever, but his shit gonna be a little different. And I think in all art forms, you got to kind of get to that point. You got to be comfortable with yourself, and you got to be comfortable with like losing, right? So like, what is a loss for an artist? Like, what's something that you create where you're like, you know what, that bombed?
I mean, for me, you know what's so wild?
Do people ever see that?
Yeah, they do. But the wildest thing is the piece that you like the most when you're creating it ain't the piece that everybody be wanting. It's the piece you think is shit. Like, damn, I wasn't even going to show this, and that'd be the one that's
the worst.
Yeah. I'm like, oh man, I know they're gonna love this. That's why I stopped bringing the audience into my studio. I said, I don't give a fuck. Like if they don't like it, they don't like it. I don't even care if they like. Actually, your opinion ain't even valid in my studio.
You say that to yourself. You don't say that to them, right?
I wish I could, but I don't. No, I don't. Yeah.
Should we strike that? Fick it.
Do you like this?
Fick it that from here.
You like this?
I don't give a sell shit.
If you like this, but it's one of those things, man, where I just got to be honest to myself. And there's not all artists don't work like this. Some artists want to make things that are pretty. I don't really care for that. I kind of just want to put what I do on this canvas, and if they like it, they like it. If they don't, they don't. But I've been just lucky that people been responsive to it. So I just try to stay true to my craft, man. Honestly, who I am. You know, like I don't even like stuff that look pretty. Sometimes I'll redo it. I'll say that's too pretty. I'll just go right over it and kind of like slap it up. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not me. I mean, I'm a pretty motherfucker, but I mean, I'm not saying like, you know, my painting. I don't know.
He's feeling himself. We
I am
gave
got
him
me,
too
man.
many compliments.
Yeah,
We done
for real,
complimented
for real.
his bars and his swag.
Also, this is
and
dope.
called him Mr. Swag-tastic.
This made me feel like I'm drinking out here.
Yeah, that shit
I feel like a buzz
that's
off of this.
spindrift.
that fake ass mimosa you got over there.
Man, I was. Man, let me calm myself down, pull myself out of the cloud real quick.
Collar, brother.
But it is a very well curated situation. You know what I mean, and like and I just came from Toronto or whatever, and like it's the most diversity I've ever seen in my life, and it's not like diversity in like, oh, like there's like black folks and white folks and Latino folks or whatever. Like, you know what I mean, you go to like London or like LA or whatever, like you see a majority of folks and then you see patches of other folks or whatever. Like everybody was fucking with everybody. Like, you know what I mean? Like there was like it was like it's like everything was like, every block had a bunch of different like restaurants and like people were just hanging out, like groups of like brown or whatever. It was the first place I went to and I couldn't pick out a majority. Right? Like you go to Miami, you got a bunch of Cubans. There used to be a bunch of Haitians over here. You see a bunch of like, when I went to Honduras, there was Hondurans over there, right? Like, you go to London, there's a bunch of, and then you see, pockets of people or whatever. Here, you couldn't see any of that. Like, and it was just like, you really started to see how like race is kind of more of a thing, and like culture is really like what matters in that. And like and when you're as an artist, I'd imagine like you are in some ways like like representing culture and whatnot. And like so like what is some of the culture that you've grown up with? Coming from from the docks and whatnot.
Yeah, coming from the dock, man. A lot of the art that I was privy to see was the art that be at our grandma's house or at our uncle's house with the afros. You know what I'm saying? The black Jesus, the woman with the breast out and kind of laying a different way. It was very. I don't know how to put it, man. It was dope, but.
Did you have the big tapestry dip with the tiger?
Yes.
The Muslims on the corner, they'd be like throwing those big ass rugs. Yeah. It'd be like a horse or a tiger.
I had one of those rugs.
Yeah, everybody had one of those rugs.
But that was art. That was art to me. Because I wasn't going to the museum.
I don't think anybody ever like slept in one of those like the dips or even used it as an actual like rug or a blanket. It was always. Like on the wall, like
that's art.
Real stuff.
We couldn't get no Basquiat.
Yeah, that's true. That's real stuff.
No Basquiat. It was just that. And that.
Yeah, but ours was on the wall. You know what I'm saying? Ours was on the wall. Like as you said that, I felt a little bit like, damn, you talking about me?
But my aunt had one of them shits on the wall.
I had the white tiger and everything.
Yeah, it was like it was like you folded it out. It was almost like a kimono type shit. It was weird as hell. I was like, why she got this? It's weird being young looking at that, right? Because when you're looking at it. Like you be like, damn, grandma got titties on her wall.
Yeah, that's
But it was something about that made that acceptable. Like, you know what I'm saying? So you didn't even sexualize it as a youth growing up and then going through puberty. You never sexualized it, but it did connect. Like, all right, something about just that form of expression.
That's it.
Meant something that exceeded whatever little primitive thought I had or whatever, because my grandma got it. You know what I'm saying?
But that's actually a good question, man. I never really sat back and thought of that. You know what I'm saying? Like I've been seeing this my whole life, at least what my style is. I never really thought of that. That's actually really cool though. And didn't think of that was art. I just thought of that was like that's grandma shit. You know what I mean? She out there. But it was dope.
But when you in a certain position, you don't even get to think of it as investing in art. You just trying to decorate the crib.
That's what it came.
You just trying to have some shit in your house. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you trying to get the most affordable shit. Like people who used to buy clothes from the, man, you used to have motherfuckers with the van outside the gas station. They had the short sets.
Yeah, man. The shoe man. The shoe
top
man.
bottom short sets.
All that.
And you knew a gas station short set when you seen it too. You like it was like you didn't even want to tease that kid. Like, they having it rough right now. Like,
but the thing is, but that's the thing, right? That is what art is, right? It's the thing that like to you it's beautiful, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. And because like even though it's like an affordable thing, it still says something that like. We kept buying that thing. You know what I mean? We could have bought a bunch of different shit and put it on the wall. The Latinas do that thing. White folks do that. You go to different cultures or whatever, they have different things on the walls throughout. Like then, like or whatever. But like for whatever reason, that spoke to us. You know what I mean? Like so when you're creating whatnot, like and you're in these scenes and whatnot, like what are ways in which like your culture kind of like fits into that larger tapestry of art and whatnot. Like what have you seen? Like where who does that speak to? Right? Like when you're looking at the range of folks that are buying your art. You know what I mean? Or drawn to it.
Yeah. So I mean, man, that's a heavy one. That's a heavy one. When I'm creating, man, I'm creating for those that look like me, those that think like me, those that walk like I walk, and that can be from the same group, the same complexion to maybe just dealing with mental illness or dealing with this idea and this feeling. I'm creating. When I'm creating, man, it's fab. I actually create for the world, really. And I create something that I hope that somebody can take the story from it and use that to make it to the next day. I struggled with a lot of depression and those type of things, and there was a point in time where I wasn't in my right mind, and it was one of those posts off of Facebook, those motivational quotes that that got me through it. So when I'm creating and I go through one of my stories about one of my pieces, I always have one of those triumphs in there. And I hope one day somebody asks me, what's this piece about? And I'll be like, I can give them that gem. And that gem could be something they take on to the future, and actually helps them through something or whatever. But I also, when I'm doing this, and I realize this ain't something that we grew up like, oh, I can be an artist. Usually when we come from Braddock, it was different. It was like the entrepreneurs I seen that inspired me were on the other side of the law. They were on the other side of the fence. So if I can do this and not go that route, there may be somebody from Mapleview, from the projects, to see me and be like, yo, he did it. He from here. You know what I mean? So why can't I do it? That means you can do it too. You know what I mean? So I hope to inspire not just, kids that came from my situation, but kids in general. I just want to spark imagination. I think we're missing that. I don't know, man. That was a little bit deep. I hope I answered your question. I don't know.
Man, I'm fairly high, so I don't even know if my question made sense.
I don't know, but I heard about Mapleview, and I'm always interested in like the projects in every spot. So Mapleview was the Braddock project.
Yeah, so there was.
Are they still around?
There was Talbot Towers down at the bottom, and then there was like Mapleview up north.
Talbot Towers, man.
It's always the towers.
It actually went down. That was the ones burned up, right?
I think they just knocked them down and put some like big ass like gas shit in there or some shit like that.
Towers
right next
or Commons.
Yeah, I think Towers.
right next to Braddock Beach.
That's true. That's real, man. I done caught a fish with 3 eyes down there once. I seen a river rat that was eating a cat down there.
Braddock Beach.
Not even lying to you. It was a river rat.
Bring your family.
I seen a rat eat a cat down there. Like that's a real thing, man. Only in the ghetto.
And that is where true artistry comes from. The experience.
I've seen some things.
But but it's crazy, right? Because if you really think about it, that's where the best shit's gonna come from.
Absolutely.
Because of the nuance of just shit that you gotta see, deal with, navigate, you know what I'm saying? Like, a motherfucker who's coming up with means, I don't know what story he or she's gonna tell. You know what I mean? I don't know if it's applicable to me. Yeah. And it would only be applicable to other folks with means. And the vast majority of America are folks who lack, means or whatever. So
right.
it's like even my son, you know what I mean? Like we do all right, but like this dude, I don't know where he gets his little artistic talent from, but I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do with it because I'm trying to retire off him.
I got you.
I'm trying. But I'm
trying to get my girls into all this. I'm the same way.
But it's just like you use what you have around you, and so he has the opportunity to watch things or see things or have access to things where he's like, I want to try that. You know what I'm saying? And so I always marvel at the creativity of folks in the hood where they like, yo, I don't have a lot of different shit, but I'm looking at this shit. And it goes back to using your resources. Yeah. Like, this is here and it's all I need.
That's all I need.
I need. Like when we had to hoop, when you try to hoop, but you put the milk crate, which I don't even know where the fuck we got these milk crates from.
Either, but they were the dopest though.
I ain't never seen milk in
the day when like
I ain't never seen milk in these crates.
I don't even know we got a milkman around.
We ain't had a milkman since
that was back in the day when folks were like, going to buildings all the time, right? Like everything is like online, you get it like delivered and shit.
Right.
Back in the day, we would just like show up to the back of your spot and be like, what y'all doing back here?
That's it.
Y'all don't need these crates.
Faces will hoop with milk
cameras back here.
I was telling the girls, I was telling my daughters, I was like, Facebook.
Crates.
I said, we had porches that we would hang out on, not these platforms. Like, we would knock on the door. When I wanted to date a young lady, you know what I'm saying? Like, I had to risk my life knocking on the door, seeing that she was there, because I know her dad could make me disappear.
Know about calling and the parents pick
up.
up.
God. Yes.
Bro, asking Mr. Johnson, can you speak to Kiana?
Yo.
Oh, that was you trying to put your best voice on.
I had my sister.
Hello, sir.
Shout out to my sister for being my shield.
Yo, you was a genius. You a genius.
Listen, you got to use the resources.
He ain't get it out the mud. He ain't get it out the mud. You don't know about Mr. Johnson picking it. And he answered the phone with attitude.
How about how he was still on the phone when y'all was talking about some freaky shit? He's like, get your ass off the phone.
Ain't no freaky shit up. We don't do phones. I saw the wire. We don't do phones. We don't do phones. Hey, we just gonna go to the mall, see a movie. How was your day at school? You gotta lead in with all the soft questions.
I got caught a few times talking some greasy shit on the phone, and they parents still on the phone like, yeah, it was a thing, man. Because
you hood niggas don't have no. You gotta know.
Usually you only have one phone in the house, but some people, were privileged, had two phones, in the hood. You know what I'm saying? Their parents was
that was a thing, man. Where you had one phone in the house,
in the fucking kitchen.
That's a real thing.
So now you just in the kitchen, and you got siblings. They walking around. Your mama walking around.
It had a cord on it too.
Man.
Remember the long cord you would get from
when they started coming out with the long cord,
you could take it all the way upstairs. Right. Make sure, hopefully, nobody tripping out the steps off of it.
Down in the basement. I used to take
Grandma,
that boy down in the basement, late night.
I was fortunate. We had the cordless dips.
Oh, man.
Well, once the cordless came out,
Mama had a life too. So mommy wasn't always home. So I could get my little shit off. You know what I'm saying? But
God damn.
Yeah, but you still had to navigate that. Whoever you did, she wasn't gonna answer the phone when you called her out, and you'd be kind of mad at the girl, like, why you ain't picking up? You know I'm about to call you.
Well, the messed up part is with caller ID, man, because you know what? Usually, you got somebody sitting next to the phone, and they look over like I ain't not answering that. By the time she get downstairs, you calling for your boo. She get downstairs, daddy's seen it the whole time, and nobody picked up. Why didn't you pick up the phone? Oh, it was nobody, baby. I would say that. I would use that.
You think Pops was hating on you?
Pops definitely hating on me, man.
Fuck, you shout hating ass.
I'm a Pops now too. I be hating too, man. Like I take the girls down to the park, man, and I be mean mugging these kids down there. I'm serious. It's a real
thing.
Fist
fights with kids 10 and under.
It's like, hello, Mr. Ochai, fuck out of here, little dude. I don't talk to you.
Nah, nigga, I know what you're gonna be.
Yeah,
you don't even know what you're gonna be, but I know.
I say I'm only 4. I don't care.
I know what
ass out here.
Yeah, we ain't gonna punt.
Yeah.
So who are some of the favorite artists that you've collabed with, and what makes a good artist to collab with? You know what I mean? Like, what makes a desirable artist to work with, right? You know what I mean? Like, if somebody's looking for work and like you're like, all right, here are some things that you might want to just at the door, just as an artist, come to. You know what I mean? Because like one of the things, again, we always say is, on the cast, like treating yourself as a small business, right? You know what I mean? And like, showing up on time and things of that nature or whatever. Like, what are some things as an artist, like as a visual artist especially, that like folks need to, show up to the door with?
Man, I would say, man, definitely have a website for one. That's something that I'm still working on as well. But I'm just saying, like, having a website is key. Having like a landing page for you to talk to somebody, send them to, that's cool. But when it comes down to like the basics, being easy to talk to, man, like being open for new things, like understanding the person you're collabing with and bringing something different than you're bringing, and you may be the professional on that with that whatever you're doing over there, and I may be the professional on this, but understand that we don't know much about what each other do, so let's bring it together. So being like working with somebody, not working for somebody, that feeling. I would also say, man, just don't be a prick. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, man. I'm kind of reaching, but I do feel like there is some other things that I'm not thinking of at the moment. That kind of hit me. I don't know.
But the collaboration thing, it seems more difficult for you because the art is so important to the artist, right? It's so much a reflection of you individually. It's like, how do you get, like Day and I, if we collab on a comedy show, each of us have our individual time. We may want an overall feel for the show, but he can showcase the shit he want to do. I can showcase the shit I want to do. We just kind of try to figure out what that atmosphere is going to be like.
Gotcha.
With visual art, and we're coming up with something tangible. Right. I don't know how... how do you not let ego get in there? Like,
that's true. So
scheme is whack.
It's true. When I'm thinking of like,
fucking love his bitch.
Oh, he go with that purple shit again.
When I'm thinking of collaborations, I wasn't really thinking of collaborating on the same canvas, right? Because that's something I actually haven't had the opportunity to do yet. But when I say collaboration, maybe we're doing a group show together, or something of that nature. So when I'm thinking collaboration, that's kind of what I'm thinking.
So then, what are the considerations in that situation? So you're doing a group show. What are you? So again, like for us, You know, when we started doing the shows, it's like, okay, so we're gonna have the comedians. We got to figure out who we want on the show. We want a certain kind of flow of who.
We
how
like
we
both were like nobody that's gonna wear like sandals and with their feet out.
Definitely
you know what I mean?
no fucking
that's a red flag.
Man,
Definitely
no
red
men with their feet out on stage was the thing that we came together on. You know what I mean? Like, what are the atmospheres that y'all be trying to vibe?
Yeah, I mean, with us, man, it's I'm sorry, that's fucked up.
It's not fucked up.
No, it's not. No, it's a real thing. It's a real thing.
real.
It's respect
Man.
for the world.
Hashtag
Toes away.
put the toes away. I was just about to say.
Useless, dog.
Civilized
You out here,
society.
you out here
Hashtag
relaxing.
put them
nigga.
toes
You trying to work. You out here relaxing.
I mean, I would say the biggest thing, man, if when you come up with a game plan to stick to it, right? So you need somebody who's a good team player, somebody who's going to be punctual, like you said. You know, on install day, you know, you have all your pieces ready. You have your titles for your pieces. You have the prices ready. Your POS system.
Be showing up like,
Yeah.
what do you think that cost? Though,
Yeah,
really?
don't wait to get to the
what did that
show.
feel like today?
That's real. That happens in every sense, man. Like, don't wait to the last minute. Like, have your stuff ready to go. Like, the show is the residual of your work. You know, it's the residual of the work, not just you put it in the art, but the way you present it, just like it's your presentation. That's who you are. Yeah. If you got a half-ass show, I know you a half-ass artist, and I'm not talking about the art, I'm talking about the way you approached it. You know, I don't care what's on the wall, as long as it's a representation of you, but I do care about the way you approach the show, because that'll tell me how much you care about what you're doing. So you don't got to be the best artist, but your reason for doing this is also something that motivates me. You know, if it's all money, then that's cool if that's all you want, but let me know that. You know what I'm saying? But I like it to be a little deeper than that. You know, that's just the person I am. I like somebody that they use art as a coping skill. Like they couldn't live without it, because I feel like that's the work, and those are the artists that are going to inspire people. You know, the money cool, but that's just going to come with it after a while when you're putting it out there. You know, but I think if you come for the money, you'll leave for the money, and that means it ain't gonna stay around too long, because money ain't everything in this thing. So yeah,
money,
the real
ain't
feel.
Everything. It's
now,
the only
now. Yeah, that's true too.
That's
true
French
too.
Montana.
Yeah,
French of Montana.
He knows what he's talking about. I mean, he got it.
So in taking that approach, then how do you approach a super collaborative situation like Barrel and Flow as creative director? What is the feel? So you come in, you got an aesthetic that you want, right? You like, yo, this festival, I've been here, I've seen it. I mean, bang, 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 this is what I'm thinking. But now you're working with other artists, and they're like, well, this is what I want to bring to the table. Like, how do you approach that?
Man, so navigating these streets, man, in this creative genre, man, I've had the opportunity to meet some really dope artists out there that I don't feel like probably get their just due. But I've seen how they worked, and even if the work wasn't something that inspired me, how they work inspires me. And I feel like they're good people inside out. And I really think, you know, it's time for them to get their just due, you know, and get out there and see the world. They may not, how can I say this? They may not have a show here or there, but they may be one of those people that just need an opportunity to see what this world has to offer. And I think with Barrel and Flow and the way y'all guys are connecting with the people and trying to get our people to be a part of that pie, that $1 billion pie that's out there for the alcohol festival world, those type of things, and the arts and everything like that. You know, I know a few artists out there that need that fair shake, and once they get it, and once the world sees what they're doing and sees how they're passionate about it, I think they're going to get paid for what they're doing, but also it's just the opportunity to show the world how dope they are. So, you know, I don't know. That's kind of where I'm at with that. I know I'm running around, man. My mind's not there. This mimosa did it for me.
I definitely.
And also, I think I'm catching the contact. I'm just messing with you. Nah.
But you can't go back on the anniversary with a level of high that she ain't got. That's a whole. I've done that.
Yeah.
I've been in oh man, it's a true story. I was arguing with a shorty, and my man's called me, and he was having a crisis. And mid-argument, I'm like, all right, I got to go help my man's out. And so we'll go to help my man's out, and he pull out a blunt. I'm like, I I can't do that. I was in the middle of something, but I gotta support my man. So I smoked the blunt.
That's part of it. Mental health.
And then I get back and I walk in, and she want to finish what we was dealing with, and I'm just like, yeah. She like, She's like, really?
Yeah.
I had to be a friend.
Yeah.
I had to be a friend.
Yeah.
I couldn't abandon my man in his time of need. This is a crisis over here. This is how we deal with it. Now I'm better for you. Now I'm a better man for you.
Yeah.
She didn't hear that.
She wasn't with it.
Easy pickings, man. You know what I mean? That high argument, you win every time.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I just came back. I gave you the drop.
Right.
I'm going to agree to everything. I'm trying to get a sandwich. You all in the way. Trying to watch TV.
I'm just trying to make my way to the snack drawer. That's it.
I gave you an easy dub.
Yeah, she's standing right in front of the snack drawer. Like, I just need to, whatever you want.
Whatever you want.
Yeah, man. Don't go into an argument inebriated. Yeah. You never win that. 12 years, believe me, it never worked. You'll never win that battle. So it's a losing game right there.
So I mean, you brought up the idea again, the tenement of like getting paid, right? And that's the big thing in Barrel and Flow, and just everything we be doing with the podcast and everything is again treating it like a small business, fair payments and whatnot. You know what I mean, transparency. Like what do you believe are some of the hurdles in the art world to being paid fairly for your work?
Yeah, I think it's the opportunity, waiting for these galleries and these other places to approach you, which they seem to approach the same people constantly, and they never let anybody else in. So a lot of times, if you're coming in and you don't have you don't know someone, you got to create your own opportunities. So a lot of times in Pittsburgh, I mean, if we were in New York or we were in one of these bigger cities, it's a little bit bigger. It's more of an art buying crowd out there.
Okay.
Here people don't really, they're starting to, but it's not a place where people are just going out on Sundays just to go to galleries to buy art, like to actually buy art, maybe for their collection or something like that. So we're starting to develop that here, but it's not here, and not here, like, it's not solidified yet. So, any opportunity that pops up, especially if it's for us, because the art community is growing, but the buyer community doesn't seem to be growing as fast as the art community, which is leaving a void. So any opportunity that does come, a lot of artists, they just need to hop. They need to go for it, So that's one of the issues that I see out here. The other is, it's opportunity. That's both of them. Yeah.
I did want to ask, and I'm happy you brought that up, because I did want to ask, like, how you would describe the Pittsburgh art community, and for context, when I from a comedy perspective, right? One thing, and I was just having this conversation last night. I did a show with Marcus Cox and Joey Purse. Shout out to them. And we did the VFW show, right? And in Pittsburgh, those are like the better paying shows. To just go out to some random spooky ass town, like in the middle of nowhere, Pennsylvania, and you get a good pay, but you ain't getting shit from that on the residual, right? These folks aren't gonna be like online championing you and this dude should get a Netflix. That's not gonna happen. You're just gonna get a bag that night. You know what I'm saying? Whereas in other cities, like Norlex Belma, who was here and he went back home to New York, he can hit multiple mics in a night and get certain eyes on him that lead to opportunities, and the folks around there understand the comedy grind. And that's not to speak down on the culture here. It's just, it's a different grind. And so now we had to start producing shows, or you got to have a podcast here somewhere. You got to have some other shit where you can make some money off of it, because if you go to 4 mics this week in Pittsburgh, it's just, you just practicing.
That's it.
With art, how does that work with art? Like, how do you all navigate a scene where there isn't the, hey, I'm the art enthusiast who's purchasing, that crowd or that crowd?
I think we're all still trying to figure it out.
Okay.
Because the old way, where you just put your work up and then someone buys it, there. I mean, there's only like 4 or 5 places in Pittsburgh that I would say that are solidified, that are like high-end art dealers where you can have your work and you could sell like these $1,000 pieces where if you're not dealing with those galleries or whatever, you feel like you're left out, you know. So I don't know, it's kind of up for us to, you know, not just that we can't just depend on money coming from ourselves. Like you said, we kind of have to do the podcast. We kind of have to navigate, get seen here and there. That's where I think Barrel and Flow kind of brings more opportunities than what you guys even know, because there's 4,500 people usually expected to come in there, maybe even 5,000 this year or whatever. That's 5,000 people that can see this artist doing their work. You know, the only festival we get is the art festival. And you got to pay, usually 9 times out of 10, to get a booth there. There's a lot of out-of-towners, but to get a booth there, it's like $1,500.
Wow.
We artists. We starving artists, most of us. We don't have that to put there. And it's not like we can't even go there and sell because
pieces you got to sell to get that 15 back.
Hopefully, yeah, that's another thing. You know, so that's what I'm saying. It's always a grind, but if you love this enough, like I said, if it's about the money and you're going in it just for the money and you're thinking short game, you ain't going to last long anyway. That's why I like to work with people that it's not all about the money. They really enjoy this. They want to make a living off of this, but they're willing to just go out there to show the work, and those are the ones that really grind it out. And those are the ones I want to work with for Barrel and Flow.
So, interesting conversation to have. I know we kind of get towards the end of this. How do you, as an artist, visual artist, how do you price your pieces, right? So, like, for a comedian, you know, the more notoriety that you have, the price went up. So initially what happened was this. If you booking me for a 10, 15-minute set, here's a price. If you booking me for a feature set, here's a price. If I'm headlining, I get a different price. And then it gets to a point where, all right, I'm not accepting nothing less than whatever. And in this city, that'll limit the number of shows that you'll do. But for an artist, you know, how do you, so a piece this size, does that mean that it's less expensive than a piece this size? How does that work?
No, I mean, depending on the artist, right? So you'll have artists that are kind of solidified in the game. They maybe been in the game for 10 years, and a piece this size can be $1,000 where I'm selling.
It's an 8x11.
Yeah, that's it. And I'm selling a piece like that for $100, right? Because I'm just in the game. I don't have any notoriety, you know, behind my name. I'm just kind of coming in. I'm walking down the street. People ain't saying, "Oh, that's an artist." They just saying that's a guy walking down the street with camo on. If I'm in that position, you know, I want to make sure these pieces make it to someone's home and that they're affordable for somebody to take the chance on me. Now, if somebody's seeking out a piece like that for $1,000, they obviously know that that's an investment. You know, something like that has some, you know, it's a conversation starter at a cocktail party or something like that. Or maybe they enjoy it that much that they'll buy it. Hopefully that works out, but a lot of times that's not how it is. So just understanding, it's kind of tough. Pricing art, they have, you know, college classes on this, you know.
Word?
Yeah, they do.
Wow.
They have all types of stuff.
Because I don't know how you price that shit.
Yeah. So
it makes sense. That's
how
crazy.
many strokes of that paper?
Yeah. And that's another thing. So you can't go off of materials, right? So if I'm using $50 of materials on a canvas, I obviously know it's going to be more than $50 now. You know what I'm saying? So I want to make sure I do get a return on that. Sometimes
Quick maths.
So yeah, sometimes the
Like,
stuff you use on the canvas, if I'm making something out of straight copper and it's, you know, 24 by 24 and copper's at $1.50, I mean, obviously I have something, and some people price it that way, you know, for per square inch. But it all depends on the artist, man. And the only way you're going to find out what you can sell it for if you're putting yourself out there and you're testing the waters. I may have a piece here that's 100, piece here that's 1,000. I sell that $1,000 piece. Maybe I should be selling that $100 piece for $1,000 now. You know, you kind of inform as you go on.
Well, that's the same. I mean, the price went up.
The price yesterday ain't the same as today.
Yesterday's price is not today. But that's great, because then how do you reconcile? So, like, again, with art, we're talking about it being true and authentic, right? So I'm making this true, authentic piece, and you're buying it as a flex. And I'm gonna charge you for the flex, but you ain't even really respecting what you got here. I poured something into this piece, and you're buying it because of my name. Does that bother y'all? So
No,
I mean,
not really.
If I sold some shit for
that money in my pocket?
okay,
Yeah,
all right.
I'm good.
Oh, so y'all all capitalists. So let's get down to brass tacks. We're all capitalists.
I mean, I didn't buy.
We definitely should all be getting paid for this beautiful work that we're doing. Man.
Yeah, that's real. That's real. I buy some Nike shoes. I you know,
the whole
fuck
history
them
of
up.
free work out here.
Yeah, it's real.
These streets.
I just find it because I feel like, and you could obviously speak more to this, right?
Yeah.
So those are art enthusiasts, right? Are they buying because they understand or respect the piece, or are they buying it because it's like, I know that this piece means something to everyone else? This is like a
it could be
conversation
it could be both. You know, it could be both. And that's a messed up answer to give you, right? Like, which one
But
is
it's
it?
the real.
But it's the truth,
But you
right?
got to navigate.
So I mean, because it was during the pandemic, it was like the NFTs, dude. That was a fad. You know, a lot of people were buying because other people were buying.
And they were saying motherfuckers was gonna be able to build houses in like a 3D thing, and you could have like art in your 3D house.
And it's just I'm not gonna say if it's a scam or not.
Oh shit!
But all I know
If
is
motherfuckers buying it, they
artists.
scam.
I know
gotta check
artists
my
were
Bitcoin. I ain't checked my
artists were
Bitcoin in a
making
while.
money.
Ain't
Artists were
Bitcoin
making
still
money.
like 30-something thousand?
It's
though?
been doing really, really well.
It went to 24. I think it was at 24.
Oh, it's at 24?
Yeah, it was
so
down
it's
to
lost a lot of value.
Oh, it was down to 17. Like
Yeah,
a
it
week
lost
ago.
a ton.
Yeah.
Now, the fact that it's still worth 24,000 is crazy.
Yeah.
But like,
Oh, you're really checking it?
I'm trying to figure out even how to
because with the
check that
NFT
shit.
thing, the
here
NFT
it
thing
is.
was so crazy. Like, they had that virtual reality world where you could live in a neighborhood with celebrities, and you can buy artwork to put in your virtual reality house. That's at least I heard rumblings of the way it's going
ask
to
me
go.
about the NFTs.
So-
yeah. I have no idea what that is.
So what I will
I
say-
know what it is, but I don't know how it works.
Non-fungible.
Tokens, yeah.
Non-fungible.
So
yeah.
it's
I
like,
know what it is.
They were
because-
doing it with
the
art.
fungible tokens, you don't want them motherfuckers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Only the non-fuckable tokens. You know what I mean?
There you go.
But-
There you go.
But listen. So I put about $34 in, and then it's and I was like, yeah. And then I think it went to 35.
Right.
And then last I checked, it was like $9.
Yep.
Okay. But you know what? It's on the rise. We got 13.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
You know what
you're
I
right.
missed?
It's the long game.
Yeah, I mean, it's the long game. Yeah,
The only one that I
See me in
regret.
50 years, bro.
The only shit I regret is missing that GameStop.
Oh God! No, you didn't want to
Missed
be
that
in that.
GameStop. No,
You
you
didn't want
see
to
me
be
in
in that.
I missed
56
it. I
years.
missed it, and it just would have been nice to get a little bag off of that.
The one I missed.
Gotta buy the dip.
This the one I missed. I missed Tesla
Yeah,
before
throw the gums.
right when the very first of the pandemic, Tesla went down, and then it tripled. I mean, it wasn't more than triple. It went 100 times.
Those are
whatever it was.
gangbusters. But see, they had a product,
That
right?
GameStop was
That's
just
the thing.
The GameStop was easy. That was quick money.
That was a big F you
No,
to
that
the
was
system.
that was
Yeah.
just.
And I would've liked to be a
That's a
part of
statement.
that
That was a
bullshit,
statement
I'd
piece.
like to have been a part of
That was a
F you
statement
to the
piece.
system.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
But
was the
Tesla.
gimmick.
Tesla was the one that I let go.
You know what I mean? Like I said, man. So there's nothing there though. Like I put $34 into the ether.
Yeah.
And
That's
there's
what's wrong with
there's
America.
nothing there.
And that's why we
but-
should
but you-
pay people like Corey
Pay- pay me.
giving you
Give me that
real
money.
shit.
There's not even a actual coin
No.
that I could get off of that.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, I mean,
But
if
there
I
are
wanted to,
ATMs
if I wanted
now.
to call a motherfucker and be like, "Yo,
Yeah.
I want to just give me one Bitcoin,
Absolutely.
like, a bit of a coin."
Yo, America is fucked. And
that's
my
real.
wife and I, we have a lot of discussions about how
Yeah.
this, whatever iteration of what's on this planet now, we're all just dying. Like, all this shit is ending. And that's not to say give up, because it's not going to happen in our lifetime or our great-great-great-grandchildren.
Oh no, we
That's
gonna
just
hang on real. It's gonna be a slow.
Yeah. Oh, it's on its way out. We
Yeah.
buying shit that don't exist.
Yeah, that's real. That's real.
And then,
We're
and
buying
then-
an idea.
And then putting the squeeze on motherfuckers like Corey who actually give you some shit with blood, sweat,
Like it
and
has
tears.
actual like, you
And
can
then
touch
gives
it.
you the
It's like,
idea
look at that.
with
I
it.
mean,
You know what I'm saying?
I
Like,
can
come
feel
on,
this
man. Y'all
motherfucker.
got it backwards, man. They got it backwards out there. That's
And
real
that's
stuff.
I feel like that's a non-fungible. I don't think you can funge that token.
Yeah,
Right?
I think that's what he's doing with this. I think
These are not fungible. Can you fungible art? Like I don't know what
I don't
funging
know.
is.
Well,
Can
I
you
don't know.
funge art? Can you
I
funge
don't
this
know.
art, Buzzy?
If this is his own process,
He said funge
Yeah.
around it.
can he patent
Funds
the
around.
process?
Well, I think when you're doing collaging, you're using pieces that you usually don't take the pictures of collages. So somebody owns that picture, but I think when you add on to it, there's a whole different.
I'm talking
then
about
it
his
becomes
process.
Like a, yeah, I mean, like a realm.
The process.
Yeah, so like,
I don't know.
can he because I don't. Then I was asking about this earlier. Is these specific pieces, are these like a known process that is taught in art, or is this just his own thing that he's doing?
Well, I think generally it's a process that is not new, but the way he's doing it is his way, and I think that's the beauty of art. Everybody has their own formula, right? So this has been done before, but not like his though. But that process has been done. He learned it from somebody. He just took it wherever he took it to.
You're saying which is like speckles and shit like that. Whatever. It's just so like layered.
There's no rules
to it. The more
to it.
you look at it, the more like I mean, because like you could see it just from like the outside, where like you had, like I said, even that like Batman or whatever. You know what I mean? Like when I looked over, I just saw a zombie, and then it was just like then I saw the bats, and I was like, shit,
it just became Batman to me.
You see what I mean?
Like it literally just became Batman.
Yeah, right.
First it was Lil Uzi Vert.
Yeah.
Which he would wear that shit.
Meets Tales from the Crypt.
Yeah,
I'd wear that on a t-shirt.
Yeah.
And then you see like the speckles in it.
We
like,
definitely got to make sure Buzzy gets photos of all the shit we're talking about that we're just looking at.
No, but that's the thing. Is just like so
that's podcast rust.
Layers, right?
So this artist, Malcolm Xavier, made 6 figures last year.
Oh shit!
Yeah, he made 6 figures.
Don't put that man out there.
No. It's an article.
Be out at the club, act like he's a starving artist.
My fault, Malcolm.
Big child support that went up now.
Damn, the IRS is
the cash in
listening.
hand.
You done Nick Cannon this dude. They gonna
table.
play your shit in court. Like,
but he did though, and that's what I'm saying. Actually, I wanted to hook him up with y'all because I know that you guys wanted to do an artist talk as well on with Barrow and Flow. So
over the table, he made $34. Let's be very clear.
They gonna play this child support court.
Hey, Buzzy, you the guy, right? That's gonna chop this up. We're gonna have Buzzy.
Do you have
Buzzy
a relationship with Corey Ochai? Is this Corey? This artist right here, like Xavier, he made 6 figures.
I'm snitching out. Don't put me on the stand. It was that man right there.
These real diamond dust in this mother. How much real stars are in these paintings? I mean, but nah.
To get this man audited and all.
Yeah, man. Hey, man.
My God. Sorry, fam.
Yeah.
Please work with us.
He'll be there. He'll be at Barrow and Flow, man.
Looking
Send you a
forward to
W-9,
platforming.
but just we ain't gonna get your financial information.
Yeah. I mean, he posted on his Instagram. I don't think it's something he's trying to hide.
Nice,
I think that's a flex, man, showing the world that this can't be possible. And he's one of those guys that taps into every avenue from the show to website to selling merch. All these pieces, like he's out there.
Nice,
he's out there. He's one of those ones.
One of them
man.
ones.
Yeah, anything after Bud is bullshit, man. That's the thing I'm taking from this one. I'll put that on a t-shirt.
I guess that's gonna be the title of this one when it come out. Anything after butt is bullshit. So many bars. I was going with live off what you love.
Yeah.
But anything after butt is bullshit. We'll do that.
Oh man, whatever ways.
People, not for people, is another one.
Ooh,
Yeah.
That's
Work
that's
with
another
and not
one.
for.
That's one of the ones that's solid right there.
You probably we'll just title all the rest of our episodes.
I'm all right with it. Y'all need an artist to work with to come up with the creativity for the titles. I got you.
So let the people know where they can find you before you ask you a dumbass question.
God damn. Yes.
I've already asked the question. We've already moved beyond.
Hey, man.
We've moved beyond.
So you guys can find me at Move78. That's MUVE 078. And that's on all platforms. But also, if you guys like what you're listening to, you want a podcast studio to kind of come to tell your story, you can find us at 1028 Podcast on all platforms. That's Twitter, that's Facebook, that's Instagram, even YouTube. You can check out some of the podcasts that we put out and some of the productions we put out as well. So that's kind of where I'm at, man. Or Corey Ochai on Facebook, man. That's where we at.
All right, Dad.
Nice. So, what is your favorite form of potato?
Oh my God, man, that's a real one right there.
Yeah.
Form of potato, I would say, man. Hot potato, man. I don't know.
Say hot potato?
Hot potato. No,
Like the game?
Baked potato. Baked potato. I meant to say
that is a one of one. Ladies and gentlemen,
Potatoes like I like my women.
hot potato.
Wow.
I like a hot potato. You know what I'm saying?
Man, this is a man of simplicity.
Yeah.
It's just
I'm
throw it in the
different,
mic.
ladies. I'm different.
Just throw it in the microwave.
Make sure it ain't
one time.
no lukewarm
I got
potatoes
no
over here.
brain energy left, man. Y'all exhausted it all. Just hot potatoes. That's all. Nah, man. I like baked potatoes, man.
Baked
That's my
potatoes?
thing.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
my
Baked
thing.
potato.
what's
Now,
your
I was gonna say,
toppings in
now
there?
we
What you
gotta
throwing
know
in
what's
there?
on there.
Yeah, I mean.
You got sour cream. You got the I pop a little butter in there, pop a little hot sauce in there. I'll mix mix it around with some ranch. I'm telling you, man. It's
Your
like
potato different.
potato dip. I'm a creative, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm creative.
Hot sauce, little ranch.
You ought to make it like a fake
that.
chicken wing.
That's
like a Dorito almost.
I only learned that because of the struggle, guys. You know what I'm saying? The struggle of an artist, man. I'm a struggling artist.
I feel you, man.
You gotta make it go.
We've all had cheese toast.
You know what I'm saying? You see,
I
I brought the level down of like, it was getting funny. I just had to drop a tear real quick on it. You know,
Because you was working towards living off what you love.
Yeah.
Because anything after butt is bullshit.
you dig it.
And any potato without sour cream and hot sauce ain't a potato for Corey.
Talk
all right?
that talk, man. Talk
All
that
right?
talk.
So and any festival that don't have him as the creative director is bullshit. Unless we fucks with you, then you all right.
Yeah, it's a thing. It's a thing, man. I'm
let
excited.
The people know where they can find us.
Hey, man, if you're looking for us, you can find us on epicastnetwork.com/partnerspod. You can find us on iTunes, Stitcher, Libsyn, Google Play, and Spotify under Drinking Partners. You can find us on IG, Twitter, and Facebook at PartnersPod. August 12th, man, you can find us down in the Strip District and also the new hotel, the Marriott City Center, right across from PPG Paints.
Hello.
Bro.
City Center.
Hello.
We didn't
City
even have a
Center.
city center
Hello.
until like 2 months ago.
City Center, man. We
We
got
don't
the new
even know
hotel.
how Pittsburgh is shaped to have a center.
You know, come out to the Blackest Festival. Yeah, I mean, but the Blackest Brew Festival in America, barrelandflow.com, August 12th, man. And the artistic director here,
Yes, sir.
Corey Ochai. Ochai.
Ochai, you got it.
Ochai. I mean, he's over here directing things. And if you are
Tomato, hot potato.
if you are looking for work over here, you know what I mean, come get it. Barrelandflow.com, man. And Ed and Day in the Bird, March 16th.
You know,
See what I'm saying? Very local.
Season 2.
Yes,
We got watch parties, 8 weeks of watch parties. The various neighborhoods that we will be featuring, we will be at those neighborhoods featuring them and having those watch parties. There will be elements of DJs. We'll have some booze and some food and things of that nature. So come through these watch parties, and if you're looking for those, barrelandflow.com/events.
Yes, sir. We want to thank Corey for coming, chilling with
Man, it
us
was a
in
blast.
his studio. So I guess we came to chill with him. So he should be thanking us. Why we thank
Yo,
him? We
thank
got
y'all,
chill-
man. Thank
chill
y'all.
with your ass.
Damn.
Before I
We drove
over
down
here.
there. That's what I'm
Hey,
saying. The
man.
gas money to get here.
Damn.
Hey.
Tables have turned. But no, we want to thank you, man.
I
for all
appreciate
that you
y'all,
do.
man. I appreciate y'all.
For the words of wisdom, yo. Really listen to this and listen to what he's saying, man. Live off of what you love, man. That's something to take with you. And as always,
Absolutely.
Drinking Partners is the crew. Epicast is the family. Barrel and Flow is the fest.
Yes, sir.
and Day is the future.
My man.
And we out of here.
Remember one thing: tomato, hot potato. Yes, sir.
Last word. I just had
Words
to have
of-
the last word.
Words of the wise.
You said the hot sauce, then the hot potato actually made more sense.
Okay.
I was like, hot potato. I was like, that ain't the word I was looking for.
When he said hot potato, I sat with it for a second. I'm like, wait a minute.
Hey, man, that was dope, man.
Oh, yeah, that's all. Let's get it.